Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. So it's been about a month, just a little bit over a month since the NHL season has begun. And for the first time ever on this YouTube channel, we're going to do a monthly thing around this time called the Rookie Race Report, or just the Rookie Race Review, or however you want to call it. We're going to take a look at around 20 rookies, probably like 18 forwards and like 2 goaltenders, maybe a little bit over 20. I think we covered a little bit over 20 in this video. But we're going to take a look at a lot of different rookies around the NHL and just see, where the rookie race is overall right now. For the Calder, just look at the overall rookies so far. And yeah, should be a fun video. But anyways, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get started. Starting off here, we're going to start off, it's pretty much just like the top 10 leading point scorers. And then I kind of go around a little bit. I kind of just pick some random rookies off the list that looked interesting. So, who's leading the team? Who's leading the NHL in points for rookies right now? You would be surprised who it is. It's actually Matias Maccelli of the Arizona Coyotes. Do you know who that is? I bet not. I bet I'm the only person watching this video, besides Coyotes fans and diehard NHL fans, that know who Matias Maccelli is. Yeah, he is playing pretty well right now. He's not like mind-blowing. Like, he's not scoring like tons of goals. He's only 1 point ahead of other rookies, but he is playing pretty good right now. 15 games played, he has 1 goal, 9 assists for 10 points. Again, he is first in rookies right now, so that's pretty unbelievable when you think about it. You were thinking like, oh, Matty, Beniers, Shane Wright, Juraj, Slafkovsky. Nope. As of November 14th, it's Matias Maccelli. So I know it's only like a couple games in. It's only 15 games in. And he only has 10 points. It's not like he's mind-blowing. He's not like he's blowing people away. But still, kind of impressive for a forward that was kind of overlooked heading into this season. And Arizona really starting to rack up some of those young rookies and some of those good players. And you love to see it. Next up here, we're going to move into some rookies that are much more familiar. You have Shane Pinto. We obviously talked about him in our video previewing the Calder this past, before the season began, just a couple days before. Pinto, obviously, is one of those players who, he was looked at to be, he was injured last year, but he was looked at to be, a player that could break out this season as a rookie, and so far, he definitely has. Through 14 games played, he has 8 goals, 1 assist for 9 points. Just tied for second, if I'm correct. Yes, in the rookie scoring. So he is pretty impressive so far for the Ottawa Senators. And hey, for a team that is struggling, he actually has some pretty solid stats relatively. He's looked pretty hot. Especially in those first couple of games, he was scoring goals like crazy. Like, he was looking really, really good. He's kind of cooled down a little bit, but is still trying to keep up that pace. And I think that definitely if he can keep this up, he could probably make a better case for the Calder. And he was one of those people that I kind of overlooked. I previewed him in the video, but I still kind of overlooked him in that rookie video. Next up, another way familiar player, Matty Beniers, one of those 2 players in the Seattle Kraken organization that is really hyped up to be a great player. And so far this season, he's probably, well, not probably, he's definitely looked like that. 16 games played, he has 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 points. So a pretty nice even balance there between goals and points. Obviously, the Seattle Kraken have been red hot, but surprisingly, he's a -9, which kind of shocked me. Like, has he really been... Like, has his line been that bad and he's been that good? Kind of shocking considering the Kraken have been kind of on a tear lately through this season so far. So, yeah, Beniers has looked good. 9 points in 16 games. I definitely thought he would pick up the pace a lot faster. He kind of started off hot at the very start of the year, but then kind of has cooled it down a little bit. We'll see if he can kind of pick it back up in these coming games with the Seattle Kraken. But yeah, anyways, next up, Cole Perfetti. I completely forgot about him in our Calder preview a couple months ago. Perfetti with the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, Perfetti. I mean, like, the Jets have looked pretty good. Surprisingly, I said the Jets would be pretty bad. I think I had them 6th in the division, and like even then, they probably would have finished below that, in my opinion. But so far, they've looked all right. Perfetti so far this season has 14 games played, has 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. He is 4th in the rookie scoring, so pretty impressive there, ahead of a lot of notable players. I definitely thought that Cole Perfetti took like Excuse me. In the games that he played last season, I thought he did kind of start playing really good towards the end and started looking pretty good. And I definitely thought that, with the Jets, they were going to be a struggling team this year. At least I thought they were going to be a struggling team this year. I figured Perfetti would kind of take that next step, and so far, he has, I guess. I mean, it's kind of too early to tell. This is the 1 month where it's I don't know. But yeah, Perfetti so far has looked pretty good. Anyways, fifth in scoring is the Buffalo Sabres forward, John Jason Peterka. Now, I didn't go into a full in-depth preview with this guy. I did mention him. I said he could be one of those players that honestly, could really do good. Because he dominated in the AHL with the Rochester Americans. And so far, he's looked alright. Through 15 games played, he has 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. Now, the Sabres have kind of fallen off a little bit. They started good. They looked all right to start the year, but now they're kind of starting to trend in the wrong direction, which is kind of what happens every single year. They start off pretty well, and then they just trend in the wrong direction. Sorry if you saw that alarm. I completely forgot it's late at night. I'm recording this. But yeah, Peterka definitely looked good as a Sabres forward, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what he's going to do in the coming games. Next up, we have a player that we didn't talk about at all either, and I had no idea he'd be this high. It's Calen Addison of the Minnesota Wild. One of those defensemen where, the defense looked terrible to the first 5 games of the year. They were letting in goals. It was bad. It was bad. But yeah, Calen Addison so far, I mean, he has 0 goals, 8 assists for 8 points through 15 games played. That's not mind-boggling stats, but I mean, hey, he's looking all right. You like to see players like this kind of play well in Minnesota, but hey, Calen Addison, one of those hyped-up defensive prospects, and so far, I guess he's living up to the hype. We'll see what happens from there. Next up, Arizona's Dylan Guenther. We're going back to another Arizona prospect here. Guenther, yeah, I remember when he was drafted 9th overall. Me, as a Coyotes fan, was very hyped about it. I probably have the recording somewhere. He's looked good so far. 14 games played, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. There was a point there where he actually looked like he was great. He had 6 points in 3 games or something like that, where he was playing pretty well. He's kind of cooled down a little bit, but they decided to keep him around in Arizona, which I thought was a good decision, so he will stick around till the end of the season. Definitely good for Guenther. You love to see it. Next up, you have the Ottawa Senators defender Jake Sanderson. With that blue line of players like Thomas Chabot overplaying, just playing crazy 26 minutes per night, that is just absolutely insane. But, I mean, Sanderson so far has looked pretty good. Relatively, with a defense that has looked kind of weak, he's looked very solid so far. Through 14 games played, he has 0 goals, 7 assists for 7 points. He's actually a +5, though. So with the Senators in this hole, it seems, again, it looks like they have played pretty well so far, Sanderson has. So we'll see if Sanderson can keep up that pace and keep doing some good stuff for that Ottawa blue line. Next up, you got the Anaheim Ducks' Mason McTavish. McTavish was one of those hyped up players after a really good World Junior Series. So far, it's been meh. 15 games played, 1 goal, 6 assists for 7 points. You can kind of factor that in because Anaheim's been bad too. Yeah, Anaheim has looked horrible through some of these stretches. Comparatively speaking to last season, where they were really good, they have not looked that good to start the year so far. So I'm not really too hyped with Anaheim right now. As with McTavish, I mean, he could pick up the pace, but as of right now, not looking so good. Next up, you got Buffalo's Owen Power, and I think this wraps out the top 10 leading scorers before we get into some other additional rookies. Power this season with the Sabres has 15 games played, 7 assists for 7 points. So far hasn't scored a goal yet, but he's looked all right on that Buffalo blue line. And again, Buffalo is kind of starting to fall off and regress a little bit. So we'll see if Owen Power can obviously, keep up the pace. I definitely hope he can, but yet again, people need to remember this team is a lot of young players, so it's going to take a while for them to get used to each other. We'll see, though. So moving into just a bunch of random different rookies. I have Wyatt Johnston here of the Dallas Stars. Now, Johnston hasn't been all too impressive, not mind-boggling impressive, but for a player who was popping off in the OHL and playing absolutely unbelievable with I think it was with the Spitfires, if I'm correct. I might be wrong there. I'm not good with those junior teams. I know like the names of them, but I don't know players that played with them. So, I mean, yeah. So Wyatt Johnston through 15 games has 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points. He's looked all right so far for Dallas, trying to put in those goals. We'll see if he can keep the pace. I like a guy like Wyatt Johnston, a rookie who comes into the lineup, kind of scores some goals, plays pretty well. We'll see if that can carry on into the next month. Turning the page here, we're going to take a look at some more rookies. We got the Devils up next, and it's Fabian Zetterlund, a player who many people didn't know. I didn't really know this guy when he was signed. I was like, who is this? And so far, he's looked all right for a Devils team that has been red hot. 10 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. He is a +7 overall. So yeah, the Devils started off 0-2. There was Fire Lindy chance, and they really turned it around. I definitely want to make a video on the Devils very soon. But yeah, Zetterlund so far has looked pretty good. Definitely one of those underrated rookies down there with the Devils. Ken Johnson up next. Actually, a player we actually covered in our rookies video. Through 11 games this season, Johnson has 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. He's been okay. I mean, Columbus is one of the worst teams in the league as well. Factor that with Anaheim. So he's been all right so far. I didn't expect him to pop off and win the Calder. I didn't have him in any of my finalists or anything like that. But yeah, I think Johnson so far has looked okay. We'll see if maybe Columbus can pick up the pace and have a much better month in December. Because, yeah, so far has not looked so good. Next up here, we have a player that I didn't know about until that very first game against the Rangers. Nick Perbix. Yes, a defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, you lose some blue liners like Jan Rutta and I almost said Sergachev. You lose Jan Rutta, and I think they lost Zach Bogosian on that blue line. He's still on the team, but he's hurt. So you're going to see new guys come into the lineup, and Nick Perbix is one of them, and he's looked pretty good so far. For the Tampa Bay Lightning. 12 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. He is a +7 overall as well. He's looked very good for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll see if he can keep up that pace. I think he's looked solid so far, and I love to see it. I love watching this guy play. He looks pretty good on that Tampa blue line. Very, very good. Next up, we got Philadelphia Flyers forward Wade Allison, a player who's kind of been in the organization for 2 years now. And when I saw he was a rookie, I was actually shocked. I was like, this guy still hasn't played the maximum limit yet, really? I was pretty shocked. So far through 14 games, Allison has 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points. He's a +4 overall, so not bad there. He isn't the best rookie, but I figured I'd give him a little shout out here because he's been a rookie for a while now, it feels like. Next up, we got a Montreal defender, Kaiden Guhle, a player who you know was selected 15th overall. Habs fans kind of hated it, but then they kind of started to really like it, and I like this as well. Guhle so far this season has 1 goal, 6 assists through 7 points in 15 games. Played has 13 penalty minutes, which kind of shocked me there for Montreal. One of those solid blue liners is coming to the lineup and played pretty well. We'll see if he can carry that on throughout the next month. Montreal as well has looked all right as well. So we'll see if that can carry on too. Taking a look at some of the players that I previewed in the Calder video. Now we're kind of through all the rookies that I saw that were kind of eye-opening. Now we're looking at some of the players that I previewed in the video but aren't really living up to the expectations that I gave them. So Jack Quinn was one of the probably some more surprising players when I saw that he wasn't playing at the level that I thought he was going to. So far, through 12 games, he has 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. Kind of shocking. I figured he'd be better, to be honest with you. But he's not the most shocking player out of these 4 that I have listed here. Juraj Slafkovsky, through 10 games played, 3 goals. That's it. He has as many points as Jordan Kyrou. I don't know if that's bad for Slafkovsky. I don't know if that's bad for Kyrou. You decide. But yeah, Slafkovsky, 19 penalty minutes. Oof. And then he has a 2-game suspension as well for hurting, I can't think of the guy's name right now. I can't think of his name. He's out for 10 to 12 weeks. I can't think of his name. He got a 2-game suspension for a roughing play against the Red Wings forward. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know why. But yeah, Slafkovsky, not as good as people thought he was going to be. And a player that I heard was even worse is Shane Wright. And the fact that the Kraken decided to keep him in town after this really rough start through the first couple of games, it's kind of shocking. 7 games played, 1 assist. That's it. 1 assist. Now, I know, like, there was all the Wright controversy of how he's overrated, and Wright's still a good player, and I still agree. I still thought that at the time, and I still kind of think that now, but man, this is a rough start. And I mean, we could see another situation here where it's like, oh, Jack Hughes maybe, but I don't see Slafkovsky or Wright following the path of Jack Hughes. I don't see them really panning out like those players. But we'll see. Those are the 2 players that were the most controversial, obviously, this year. We'll see what happens from there. Next up, you have Alexander Holtz. He played 4 games, so I'm not going to go as hard on him. He's only played 4 games, has 1 goal, and that's pretty much it. -2 and 2 penalty minutes. Can't really base it off of too much. Only 4 games played. Obviously, all the rookies that I've mentioned so far, apart from Shane Wright, have all played more than 10 games. So, really, I'm not overreacting about that whatsoever. Final thing to look at here, we're going to look at 2 goaltenders who are rookies on their team. First off, Logan Thompson. Underrated pick for the Calder. Now, I know you never see goalies win Calder trophies. This could be a cool pick. If Thompson could win it, it'd be cool. And he's playing pretty well for the Golden Knights right now. 10 games played, 8-2-0, with a .925 save percentage and a 2.31 goals against average. You know, you have Robin Lehnerauer and Aiden Hill being your backup goaltender. Obviously, Thompson's going to get a lot of playing time, and he definitely has, and I love to see it. Last but not least here, Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers are obviously in yet again another goalie controversy with Jack Campbell having a rough start to the year. But Skinner, he's looked all right. 3-3 through 6 games, a .932 save percentage and a 2.53 goals against average. So he's looked solid. We'll see if all these rookies can carry it into next month. So going back to my predictions for the Calder Trophy, my finalists were McTavish and Slafkovsky. And my winner is Beniers, which is still possible. Beniers is still possible. I mean, Slafkovsky and McTavish could turn it around, but it's more likely that McTavish does than Slafkovsky, but I still think it's kind of unlikely. But yeah, so far, been a fun race for the rookies so far. I've really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to do this yet again in next December. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. Sorry for a little bit of a longer video, but yeah, thank you all for watching. For Sports, I really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe down below if you are new. And anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.